This is the Herd Line News.
Oh, the Giants. They're 3-8. They have a minuscule chance to make the postseason. They have a 38-year-old quarterback. And now SNY is reporting that the Giants have, quote, absolutely not decided they are moving on from Eli Manning following the 2018 season. So when Pat Shermer was asked yesterday about the importance of getting the team's young players some game experience, he had this to say.
Oh, boy.
You got to think of some other questions. My goodness. You go every week with giving your team the best opportunity to win the football game each week. Each week. That's how you do this thing. This isn't player tryout. This is do everything in your power to win the next game.
Is it, though? Not if you're thinking long-term, Pat. That's not how it works.
God, it's amazing that the New York sports teams are a mess. They're all a mess. The Jets have no players on offense. The Giants are dealing with this. The Mets underachieve. The Knicks have James Dolan. I mean, God, what outside of the Yankees' young players, and now they're not as good as their rival Boston. This seems like to me. I go back to this. I think, are the Giants petrified to get ripped in the media because they're such a blue blood Michigan football IBM program? They're not comfortable with all this negative. The Jets were the circus for 30 years.
Right.
And the Giants were like above it all. Now, the Giants are the circus. It's amazing. Like, what numbers do you need to validate the argument to draft a quarterback?
I really, truly don't know. And at this point in the season, like last year, I did not think that they should bench Eli Manning. Like, I didn't.
Let me ask you this. If Eli Manning played for the Rams right now.
Right.
Would they get rid of him? Yes.
Yes.
Why? Because he's not very good. Is New York just keeping him because it's like they're afraid after the 2 Super Bowls they'll tick off their 55-year-old fans?
No, I don't think. I mean, I'd have to imagine that these fans that you're speaking of are ready to move on from Eli. I mean, what are you holding on to? That's no disrespect. Everyone eventually has to retire from football. Like, Eli, this is the end. You have to draft a quarterback.
I liked Andy Rooney on 60 Minutes, but you hit 80. I can't understand that it's time to move off Andy Rooney. Like, there's a lot of people I like, but I move off them.
I mean, it's just time. So we talked yesterday about the reports of Cliff Kingsbury's phone ringing off the hook with NFL interest.
Yes.
He said he may go in a different direction. You had a soft scoop, if you will.
I think in 48 hours he will announce he is the offensive coordinator at USC. No sourcing, just what I believe.
Just your gut feeling?
Gut feeling. Not it's small J journalism.
I think if he makes that move without a guarantee of being the head coach in the next year, I think it's a lateral move. I think if you have an opportunity to move up to the NFL after being your last title was a head coach, and now you have an opportunity to move up to the NFL, if you move to an offensive coordinator position, even if it is at USC, it's a lateral move if you don't have the opportunity to be a head coach. But anyway, one of Kingsbury's former players, not Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, thinks there's a good reason for all the NFL interests.
I haven't talked to him at all about where he's thinking about going or where he's thinking about ending up. But I know if he did come to NFL, he has the work ethic and he has the mind and he has the innovativeness, I guess you would say, if that's a word, to be in this league. So whatever he does, I know he'll have success doing it.
I agree with
I'm
that.
Close to Coach Kingsbury. He really helped my game and helped me as a person a lot. He's a genuine good person, but at the same time, very, very smart football coach.
You're talking all the time about how Sean McVay is going to get a lot of people fired, and I think he's also going to get a lot of people hired as well. And you're talking about Matt Nagy and Kyle Shanahan. Like, offensive minds are in high demand in this new NFL.
Kingsbury looks like McVay. He's kind of the hip, young guy.
Yeah.
Little facial scruff here. I mean, he's got kind of the, women think he's kind of cool, and he's kind of cool. He's a cool. Most football coaches
cool
are
is
not
fine.
cool.
Winning is cooler.
And offensive-minded, cool, progressive, smart dude.
Yeah, the offensive minds are in high demand right now. So that's where I think he'll end up. So finally, we talked about Ben Roethlisberger earlier. He's made it clear this week he sees no issue with calling out his teammates. He called out his receiver James Washington, who Ben thought botched a catch that would have been a for sure touchdown.
Yeah,
and he's not taking a lot of responsibility for his situation. And you think that loud teams cannot win consistently.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But since Tom Brady was drafted in 2000, so let's call it the Brady era, 3 teams have won more than one Super Bowl. That's the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Giants.
Yeah.
And overall, the Giants are no longer quiet. We can
but
all
when they
agree
were
on
winning
that.
Super Bowls,
when they were winning. They're a little more quiet. They still had some stuff. They had Plaxico, Strahan. So they had some personalities on those teams. But the Steelers and the Ravens are certainly two very loud teams.
Well, Pittsburgh is now. Yeah, they're the noisiest team in the league.
I think that the Patriots are an outlier. I think it's unfair to compare the Patriots to really any other dynasty except for the 49ers. And the 49ers were not so quiet either. Like, you look at since the 80s, you have the Cowboys, you have the Redskins, you have the 49ers, and you have the Patriots as far as dynasties go. Anyone that's won 3 or more Super Bowls in an era, right? Those teams aren't very quiet. I think the Patriots are just an outlier.
I think the Niners were quiet. We didn't
quiet?
It was like you didn't hear.
Haley?
Well, Todd Haley was an odd guy.
Charles Haley, yeah.
Yeah, Charles Haley was, my bad. Charles Haley was an odd guy, but Dwight Clark, Jerry Rice, they were grinders. Montana, they were not. Remember, we didn't have social media, so it's hard to say. I always thought they were like, you know what? There was no drama with them. It was just like they went out and won. And then even when Montana left, there was a little drama, but then Steve Young came in. He was academic. And I always thought the Niners were New England of their time. There was no big...
you certainly can't put the Cowboys in that category.
No, Cowboys had all sorts of... Cowboys were Manchester United. It doesn't matter who's... They're loud.
Overall, I agree with you, but I think it's more along... I think the bigger thing is everybody being on the same page as far as winning. Like, there's just certain personalities you're not going to be able to contain no matter what the system is.
Yeah, Big Ben's one of them.
Right.
He's just going to talk. And for the record, they're also this in Pittsburgh. Really well run. They draft well. They stay under the cap. Basically, the Steelers are Green Bay, but better with free agents. They draft well. They've got continuity. They've got stability. They're smart.
But I don't think that Ben doesn't get along with his teammates, though.
No, he's just a lot of work. Ben's a lot of work.
Well, big personalities, winners. Like, everybody doesn't just stay quiet. And Tom Brady hasn't been the most quiet over the past couple of years either.
18 years, yes. Last 6 months, no.
Yeah.
Joy with the news?
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Daryl Moose Johnson of the Cowboys, 3 rings, joins us next. Cowboys Saints tonight in L.A. It's the Herd.